Everyone. I am live. I'm going to wait and see if some people join. So I'm going to just give it a little few minutes. I promised that I would go live once a week, but I haven't done that. Now, I can do lots of things, stand in front of a huge audience and talk. I can be in a room full of people and talk in front of those people, but doing lives, there's something about it. But anyway, I'm here. So it's better late than never, right? I am here on my live. So I'm going to wait for 60 seconds in. We have about 10 seconds to go. So I'm waiting for 60 seconds in, and then I will start talking. But I'm grateful to be here, grateful to be alive. I am really grateful for that. Um, it takes to know me to know what I mean. But anyway, okay, we're going to talk now. I am Rebecca Outlaw. My in-laws are the Outlaws. I am the founder and CEO of Tickle Mites LLC. It's a publishing services company. Now, we don't just publish books, we amplify your voice. We protect your vision and guide you every step of the way, whether you're a seasoned creative or you're a first-time published or first-time author. We guide you every step of the way. Our candy drip youth inspired theme lets you know that your voice matters. We represent the underrepresented. We see the overlooked, and we hear and listen to the unheard. We give you a voice. Your voice matters. Tickle Mites LLC. Now, we are a bold and creative publishing company built on the label and the belief that every voice deserves to be heard. Our brand identity blends vibrant candy themed energy with professional excellence, turning visions into books, media that inspires and uplifts, and creating a legacy for you to leave for your family. And we do it with flavor. Now, we'd like to empower voices to shine by transforming them into beautifully published books and creative media. We deliver end to end publishing services from ghostwriting, editing, design to printing, distribution, and brand development. So authors and entrepreneurs can focus on their vision while we handle all the details. With our signature Your Voice Matters approach, we amplify stories that inspire, educate, and create lasting impact. We take you from idea to impact and beyond. That's Tickle Mites LLC. How about that? Anyway, I am Rebecca Outlaw. I want to talk about today the difference between self publishing and traditional publishing. I think I mentioned this before, but our first lives, we talked about trademark, service mark, copyright, US copyrights. Our company does that as well. However, we want to talk about the difference in becoming a self published author or using a traditional publishing services or publishing company to publish your books. Now, I'm not going to diss the traditional publishing companies, and there's those big names that you may know. I'm not going to name them because, I rather name Tickle Mites LLC. I rather promote that to you because that's my company. But the traditional companies, they it's been said, and I've never used them. I have researched them, and I did all of my research in using a traditional company as opposed to self-publishing when I was publishing my first book, Tickle Mites LLC, or Tickle Mites: The Adventures of Rocky, AJ, and Romello. Um, and you have to buy that book. It's a really good book, if I may say so myself. But anyway, I researched traditional companies. And my thing was that the creative control, I wanted to stay with me. I wanted to control all the royalties. I wanted royalties to stay with me. And I wanted that creative ability. I wanted that creative control. I'm a very visual person, and I have a lot of vision for the things that I create. It's out there. So I need to be able to have creative control. Now, I'm not saying I don't take suggestions, and I welcome constructive instruction, but and ultimately it's going to be the way that the vision that God gives me. So I like to have creative control. That's me. I'm a creative. Creatives like creative control. They don't like for anybody to, just to hand it over. You do what you want to do with my vision and let it have its way. No, I want the ability to create the vision and have my voice heard the way I envision. So I feel like that's what most indie authors want to do. They want to have creative control. They don't want to fork over a bunch of money just to have their voices heard. They want to also keep control of the royalties. Now, are there any downsides to self-publishing as opposed to going with a traditional publishing company? Sure. You have to print off all your books. You have to sell them outright. However, you control what you sell your books for. Now, let me give you an example of using a traditional publishing company as opposed to being a self-published author. Traditional companies in editing alone, let's just talk about editing by itself. Now, with Tickle Minds LLC, you're going to get a visual editing process, and I do twice round, and I also use software. Could you do it yourself? Absolutely, you could do it yourself, but do you have time to do it yourself? Is it something that you subscribe to? Because the software you have to subscribe to. Also, you can have a bunch of friends read over your book and edit your book that way. Would it save you money? Yes, it would save you money. However, do you have time to do that? Are your friends going to do that? Are they going to be very watchful for the specific things that you want them to watch for? There are some things in editing that I don't, how would I say it, that I don't like to engage in. For instance, poetry. If you're a poet and you've written a poetry book, there's a certain way you want this poem to get over to your readers. You have this poem embedded into your soul, and you write it down, and you're feeling it as you're writing it. I'm a big fan of poetry. And you want the readers to be able to feel what you felt when you were writing this poem. So in content editing, you can't do much. I don't do too much in poetry because the writer knows what they want to say and they know how they want that content to get over to their readers. Their voice has to be heard. Their voice has to be felt from the reader. I don't do much content editing in poetry, and that's in agreement with the writer, the author. If they want me to do some content editing, I can, but then I would suggest not, because this is the way you want to say it, and I want your readers to feel that. Same thing with devotionals and prayer books and testimonials. You have a testimony you want to be heard, something that God has done for you. You have a devotion that you want the readers to feel. You want them to be delivered from whatever they're going through because of this devotional that you've promoted. So I don't do much content editing in devotionals and religious books and spiritual books at all, because you know what God has given you, you know what you want to say to your readers, and you want the readers to feel that. I do more of punctuation, spelling, grammar, some content editing, but not much. Not much. Now, traditional companies, if you're going to go with them, some of the editing you don't have control over. They do content editing. You may sign up for content editing not knowing exactly what that is. So then you're signing over a lot of the vision, your voice that you want the readers to feel and hear over to the traditional companies, the traditional publishing companies. Also, it can be very expensive in traditional publishing companies to edit alone. Typically, the edits cost anywhere from 6 cents to 25 cents per word. 6 cents to 25 cents per word. So just think if you have an 80-page book. 80-page book, it has about 40 to 50,000 words. 6 cents times 40,000. So multiply that cost if you're a math person. I do know that math. I do know that math. I do not charge that because, again, I want to help the unheard have their voices heard through writing. So to charge them an arm and a leg, and they're coming with, this testimonial book, the poetry, even with fiction or nonfiction, autobiographies, semi-autobiographies, and you want the readers to hear this. You want to have your voice heard globally through writing, and then you're charged an arm and a leg in editing alone. So Tickle Mites LLC, we don't do that. We don't charge you like that. If you want to talk about costs, you'll have to call me and we could talk about cost. Email me or text me or go to my website and sign up for publishing consultation. Now, if you heard this live and you do want to have a consultation regarding your book, even if you have a book idea, some idea, a quote that you said and somebody told you, you should put that in a book, or your life story, you should write about your life story, and you want that heard, let's talk about it. If you heard this live, I'm going to give you some numbers and you tell me what that number is when you call me or text me or email me or go on my website, and I won't charge you for a consultation. I typically do charge for consultation. I have a consultation fee and it's on my website. But if you tell me the numbers 412 when you text me or email me or call me, then I will not charge you a consultation fee. And that's $150 value. So give me a call. Let's talk about your book. Let's see where your voice, where do you want to go? What goals do you have about your testimony, about your life story? Do you want to deal with a traditional publishing company? Or do you want to become an indie author and control every aspect of your vision? If you want to control every aspect of your vision, that's me. I'm your girl, Rebecca Outlaw, Tickle Mites LLC. You can reach me on my website, www.ticklemitesfranchise.com. You can email me at RebeccaO@ticklemitesfranchise.com, or give me a call on my business number, 864-864-478-8973. I look forward to hearing from you. I can't wait to start this journey with you. And by the way, your books will be listed globally. Give me a call, email me. Remember the numbers 412, and then I will let go of the consultation fee. Have a great night.